So these are scenarios where you have someone come to you with a certain budget and they're asking for you to sort of recommend what parts of the shore they should be looking at and what kind of property they should be looking at, okay?
Okay.
So the first person, you have a retiree who's
Okay.
moving to the shore, either from somewhere else in New Jersey or out of state. They've got around $4 million in retirement funds and sort of like liquid funds that they could use. And they just want to move to the shore, and they do have grandkids, so they'd like to be somewhere either fun for the grandkids or that has space for the grandkids.
Okay.
And what would you recommend for this individual to start looking at places on the shore?
Okay. So really, in a situation like that, I mean, that's a really big budget when you start thinking about the shore. I mean, at $4 million, there's a couple of different directions you can go in. One, it's going to depend on the family, right? So first of all, I'd want to try to find out, what are they into? Are you into doing like water sports? Are they into fishing? Are they into kayaking, paddleboarding, etc. All the wave runners and whatnot. So I'd really want to try to find that out first, just to see what are they into. They might be more beach goers, so they're just kind of looking for. They want to be on the beach, or at least really near the beach. And at $4 million down here, you're pretty much going to be able to find a place that you can get onto the beach in any of the shore towns that we're in for the most part. When you start getting to places like Avalon and Stone Harbor, you may not be on the beach at $4 million, but you might just be a block or two off, depending on what you need size-wise. And when you get into towns like Ocean City, into Sea Isle City, and then down into the Wildwoods, North Wildwood, and the Crest primarily, you'll be able to get on the beach pretty much with any style of property you want. So if you take the idea of, okay, we want to be on the water, we want to be on the bay side of the island, or you may want to be in a neighborhood. So when you take towns like Ocean City has the garden section. So in a $4 million budget, you'll be able to get yourself into a fairly large property. Could be upwards of 6,000 square feet, could be 6 bedrooms, 4.5 baths. And that's going to be in a community that's very private, very a lot more year-round people. So it's very year-round oriented. And that's going to be really kind of like the luxury area, if you will. There's not going to be transient. You're not going to have renters there. It's going to be very private, larger lots in the garden section of Ocean City. When you start looking at a place into like Sea Isle City, that's going to really probably get you up close to the beach or on the bay side. Now with Sea Isle, the way that that's kind of structured, you can get into a single family home. Most of the time, people are going to be looking down in the Townsend Inlet section, which is in the southern portion of Sea Isle, and they're going to be looking there. You can get into single families on the beach in that section there, down off of like Pleasure Avenue and whatnot. So that's kind of be like the beach area for Sea Isle. Not too many back on the water. You can get single families on the bay side again if you're into like the water sports. If you're more into that view as well, that would be a budget for the bay side. Sea Isle City's really geared a lot more towards having your side-by-side townhouses. So in a $4 million budget, you may own both sides. And that might be a circumstance there if you have an extremely large family. So that's kind of what you'd be finding in Sea Isle. And then naturally, as you get down into the Wildwoods and North Wildwood and Wildwood Crest area, you'd really be able to probably find yourself a single family that's going to be right up on the beach or close to the beach. Now, you have different sections in North Wildwood also. You get into the northern section of North Wildwood, into the Anglesey district. You can get a lot more. You can get single families in those areas there. Again, those are a little bit more owner-oriented, not rental-oriented.
Yeah.
So you're not going to have that transient traffic coming through in places like that.
So if they let's say they had the $4 million, but let's say $2.5 million of it they need to support their retirement lifestyle outside of their home.
Yeah.
So $1.5 million. How does that change their options?
Well, $1.5 million, again, it's going to kind of start to now drive you in the direction of a particular town. So again, now all of a sudden you start looking at $1.5 million. You're probably going to be more out of the single family market if you're looking in places like Seattle City or Ocean City, you're going to start getting into your townhouse and your condos. You know, at $1.5 million, you're going to probably be about a block off the beach in Ocean City. You can be back to on the bay side as well, but you might be more in a condo. On the beach side, single family still on the bay side because there's all the different lagoons and different locations like that. So $1.5 million will still get you a really beautiful home in Ocean City. They have the Ocean City Homes. They have your Marion Park. So there's a lot of neighborhoods, again, even at that $1.5 million range that you can get in. Okay, they're a little bit further from the beach. They're going to be more on your west side of Ocean City. So that's going to kind of push you further away from the beach. But that's predominantly where you could find a single family home. But if you want to be close to the beach, you're going to be more in a condo situation there, first floor, second floor dynamic in Ocean City. Seattle is going to put you in your side-by-side townhouses. And that would probably get you fairly close to the beach. You're not going to be on the beach at $1.5 million in Seattle, but you could be probably 8 to 10 houses off the beach, maybe a little bit closer depending on the age. If you want something brand new, you could end up being a block off the beach at $1.5 million. And then getting down the Wildwood, same scenario. Definitely find single family homes. You know, down in the Crest, you're not going to be necessarily in a single family home on the bay. That's going to be a higher price point. That's going to push you up over the $2 million range and whatnot, but really not $1.5 million necessarily. But you can get into a condo. You can get into that type of lifestyle as well, where they got some beautiful complexes down in the Crest, like the Grand. It's, you know, in that $1 million to $1.5 million range. Beautiful complex, a ton of amenities, anything that you could ask for, from gyms to saunas to, you know, massage rooms to multiple pools right there on the beach. So that might be the lifestyle that you're looking for. You know, very different than just single family living. You might want to just come down and feel like you're at a resort, and that's something like the Grand could offer in that price point.